What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. I've got a new setup. First time going live, way too long. So, we're going to be back in action. I haven't come up with an exact schedule yet. I'll tell you guys why coming up here shortly. As far as live shows, definitely back on videos. I've gotten plenty of videos recorded for you guys this week. I need to sit down, do some editing, get those uploaded for you. In the meantime, if you're watching the recording, chill for a minute. I'm going to give people a second to hop in here live. First and foremost, to make sure my audio is working. Shout out to Shure MV7. Got the new mic, got the headset. Sounds good on my end. I need to see if you guys can actually hear it though. Mr. Martin Keller, what's up, man? Can you hear me? Can you be my test subject? I need to make sure my audio is good. All right, sweet. It says Facebook user, says perfect. All right, bear with me, guys. I got to get pulled up. If you are watching in one of our two Facebook groups, we have the Amazon and eBay Sellers Network. If you don't grant access to StreamYard, it's just going to say Facebook user. So what I'm going to do on my end is just open up the Facebook feed so I can actually see who's commenting. All right. And if you guys see me bobbing my head a little bit, I actually have tunes going on inside of here. That's primarily why I wanted to use the headset moving forward. One, it just helps me, depth makes a difference with these microphones. I want to make sure the audio is in check with that. Plus, I can just listen to music too at the same time. All right, looks like, oh, George Dean. There's a familiar face. Long time, man. That's who was commenting on there. All right, cool. So we are opened up. I didn't even know what to title this because it's been so long since I've done a legit sit down with you guys. I've done a video here and there over the last year, but for the most part, there's a lot that's been going on in our lives. But to sum it up, the prep center sucked every minute and ounce of energy out of our lives that we physically had over the last year. We pushed for a really big growth phase back throughout the summer, which we hit our goals, and realized very quickly that it was not worth the stress that we were under. We were part of the whole umbrella of struggling to hire staff, especially if you're just trying to hire minimum wage. So we had to up our wages, like a lot of companies did, start offering better benefits, all this kind of stuff. Blah 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 blah. I can talk for an hour about that situation. Ultimately, it led to us deciding to just let go of this idea of growth. I feel like, especially in the Amazon space, reselling in general, a lot of people are just thinking that you have to be in growth phase or you're nothing. And that's the mentality that I eventually got into. We hit 20K, and this can be primarily prep center focused, but we hit our first 20K month, our first 30K month, our first 40K month. We hit a 50K month, and I'm like, damn, we got to push to 100K in a month. As far as revenue goes. And, I got sucked into just the grind of it all. Like many of us do in our own businesses. It wasn't worth it, man. It's worth it if you've got the systems, which it's not that we don't have systems. Like I think our systems are pretty rock solid for what we've built so far, but it's more so you've got to have the right people to run those systems that you can trust, that show up every day. Anyone who's dealt with physical staff in their lives, man, hats off to you. I now fully understand what it's like running with a team. And we've got an amazing team now, but it's been one hell of a road to get locked in the people that we have on our crew now. So that's ultimately, I just got burnt out on trying to juggle the prep center, our own Amazon and eBay business, at the same time, whatever energy I had left to try to produce videos and content and be in the community. I definitely feel bad that I took a major step back. So on one half, I do feel bad that I kind of had to step away, not just from YouTube, but just from the community in general. But on the flip side of that, I'm very happy I did, because it allowed me to get grounded where I needed to be. It helped me really assess why I do certain things. And now we're to a point in our businesses where we've got no paid services aside from our prep center. I've got no groups, got no services, I've got no digital content, nothing paid. So it's nice for me to have the stress of needing to keep bringing value to paid groups, services, digital content. It's nice to have that stress off my plate, and I get to do this stuff just purely for fun now. And I missed you guys, right? I see some of our OGs up in here. Shout out to our original VIP group members. I see we've got our eBay listing challenge members in here. I mean, you guys know. I don't have to say much else. Like the community that we've built together over the last several years has just been amazing. So I'm very happy to have the time now to get back in and not have the stresses, the external stresses involved that were going on in life weigh me down from that because I got mentally burnt out. Like a lot of you guys know what this is like to get mentally burnt out and try to just keep showing up and giving everyone everything that you have. It eventually just weighs down on you. And that's the point that I reached. And I'm now in a point in life where I'm super happy with our work life balance. Our prep center is now run pretty much the day to day is run completely by them. I'm still doing a lot of just the overhead stuff, like the client management, the support tickets, the billing, the invoicing, the technical questions, that kind of the owner stuff, right? And now I get to focus more on our own Amazon, eBay selling, especially right smack in the middle of Q4. I'm so happy to be back on the selling side of our business. And more so than any of that, I now have time to just be home at 6 o'clock and spend time with my kids. They're in such a crazy part in their lives where it's like we've got Isla who's 2, we've got Titus who turns 7 just here in a week. He turns 7 years old. So they're in a really crucial point in their young lives where it's like we need to be there for them every single day, helping them grow and make those memories. And man, I'm super happy with where we are in life right now. Along with that, I didn't know what to title this episode, this show, because it's kind of just me coming back into the reselling space, not as a prep center owner, which is that's been my hat for like a year and a half straight. It's just I own a prep center. I didn't feel like a reseller. I didn't feel like I was in my own e-commerce space. I didn't feel like I was plugged into the community. So I'm taking that prep center owner hat off for a bit. And of course, it's still a huge part of our life. It's our day to day that we oversee. But for the most part, I'm happy to be back being able to do this kind of stuff with you guys again. So moving forward, I guess in this episode, just cover some basics of kind of where we're at with everything, how Q4 is going. Of course, this is open Q&A sesh. So whatever you guys have that you need help with, please drop a comment and let me know. I just realized I didn't put, man, I'm such a newbie to StreamYard again. I didn't put like my side hustle network branding or anything, the banners. Yeah. Let me highlight this one. Unless you've been sleeping all day today, Amazon broke. So if you're having a tough time using Inventory Lab, shipping FBM orders, creating FBA shipments, checking things into Inventory Lab, dude, it's been broke, especially as someone who runs a prep center now. Middle of Q4, this was not a good time for Amazon to be broken. And I had to explain to our team that Inventory Lab themselves, they go down every now and then. Usually it's back up and running within an hour. This is a much larger issue. This was Amazon AWS service. Basically, it's the core of the internet for their server that got hit with whatever. They said they found what it was. They're working on it, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, Amazon has just been all kinds of up and down. I see the quantity on some of my FBM, and would love to hear what you guys have been experiencing today too. But I have been watching my FBM listings, and the quantity is going down, but my sales aren't reflecting anything. So there's sales happening. I'm not seeing it reflect on my end. I haven't checked within the last probably 2 hours. Now that I think about it, let me grab, in case any of you did not know, I'm going to post in the comments here a link where you can watch the status of what's going on. And at one point, most of those, they have different sections. Most of those sections were green, which meant working. Um, it turns out now they're all yellow, and a bunch of them were red earlier. So it's just gotten worse over the day. And especially running a prep center where like we've got shipments that need to go out. It's not just our own products, you're right. We're a prep center. We've got other people's stuff we got to get out. So hopefully that works out. As far as eBay, I haven't seen any impact on the eBay side, so it's just an Amazon specific issue. So yeah, that's the big update of the day. If you guys have been seeing any issues on that side, best Q4 playlist. Shout out to Michael. Michael came out to San Antonio when we were down there was that 2 months ago? Oh, P.S. We mentioned a couple times, but it's official now. We are moving to San Antonio, Texas. That's kind of our big life update. That's what we're focusing on right now. So we took a 2-week trip 2 months ago. Real quick before I go down that rabbit trail, best Q4 playlist. I've been cycling through modes, and I think most of us, I'd love to hear in the comments too. Do you cycle through phases of music? So there's phases where, like, I grew up on classic rock. So there's phases where it's classic rock blast, and especially if I'm helping prep or anything like that. I've been doing my own. I've been hammering eBay. I've been doing 20 listings a day, 5 days a week, for at least probably 3 or 4 weeks now. So eBay sales are up like 500 or 600% because I wasn't doing much before over the summer. So that's been doing super well. So when I'm listing, when I'm doing photos, I was hammering classic rock for a while. But tell you what I've been into for like 3 weeks. I have a hard time listening to regular music right now. If you just literally go, it's the chill step, lo-fi type of beats, but it's the crypto one specifically. So if you typed in crypto chill step, I don't know, man. It's just something about those vibes, and that's why I got playing in here right now. Not loud, just super low key, but I've been enjoying that. So for the Texas update, I guess we'll just throw all the Leslie household updates at you guys today. So for the Texas update, because we kind of mentioned it here and there, we had loose timelines we were looking at. Life events happened, we got pushed back. So here's where we are today. We took a trip down to San Antonio 2 weeks ago, or 2 months ago, for 2 weeks, and had an awesome time. Trista's whole side of the family is already migrated down there from Oregon, so we're the last ones they're just waiting for. So we got to go down there, hang out with them, have a blast. And the biggest part about going down there was being able to just go drive around the neighborhoods, because San Antonio is a very wide range of neighborhoods. So we got to go down there, find the areas that we liked, that we didn't like. We honed in on this area called Converse. So it's like a bunch of smaller towns that make up these sections of San Antonio. So the Converse area is what we're looking at. Now that trip is done, we're looking at a timeline of around February. It might be the beginning of February, it might be the end of February. Honestly, it depends how much snow we get here over what we call the pass. The drive to pull a U-Haul or a U-Haul pull our truck, or not truck. Can't talk right now. A U-Haul to pull our SUV and all the stuff that we need to go with us, which hopefully won't be much. We're going to liquidate a lot. It depends how much snow is up over that pass. I do not feel like driving that much stuff over the snow. So it might be the end of February, might be the beginning. For sure, it will be around that February mark, though. So we're going to fly down in San Antonio again, probably 3rd, 4th week of January, and we will go tour warehouse spaces and sign a lease and at least get some type of warehouse space up and running. The beautiful part about our situation is my mother-in-law and sister-in-law worked here in our prep center for like a year before they moved down. So they know our systems. They know how to receive the inbound stuff. They know how to do shipments. So when we sign a lease and fly back here to take care of the final move, we can already direct client product down there and already have some type of receiving and shipping area going on. So that's going to be awesome. As far as space, if you asked me back in July, August, when we were on this huge like growth, when we were on that big push, I would have told you like we're getting 10,000 square feet. We're going to have a 7-figure operation within a year down there. After going through the stress that we went through with the growth, um, I have no desire to be pushing for that right now. That's, still in the vision, but I'm in no rush to put that much stress on ourselves again. It was not worth, losing out on our entire summer here. Is what we did. We sacrificed everything to grow, which we grew, which is awesome. So in a business sense, like we hit all of our goals, we did awesome. Wasn't worth the personal side of it, the mental aspect, and the stress. So we're looking at getting probably around 3, 4, or 5,000 square feet, depending on the area, the type of deal that we get, etc. And we'll grow into it. So that's kind of where we're at with the Texas situation. I'm curious, anyone watching San Antonio people? Got any Texans down there? And I would love to do some type of get some type of quarterly meetup group going on when we're down there too. What's up, Adam? First time using YouTube. Who is this guy? Long time, my friend. William. Appreciate that, man. Glad to see you back. Truly missed your videos. Glad to see you guys are thriving, though. Much, much appreciated. Man, we've been through, it's not just us, like we as a collective, all of us, this community, we've all been through um, all kinds of ups and downs. Some people have had nothing but success and amazing times over the last year. And then, some of us have been through some shit. And we're doing the best that we can to crawl out of 2021, brush ourselves off, and continue moving forward. Hey, Bobby, what's up? eBay listing challenge. That was a fantastic group. That February, specifically the February eBay listing challenge, one of the best challenges, if not the best challenge we've ever hosted. That was just a fun month. That was an amazing group. Tom Shuck, what's up, man? Man, that's a blast from the past. Tom was back in my fitness days, back in the fitness coaching days. What's the coolest or weirdest thing you have sold? The first thing that pops in my head, one of my team and I were just talking about this earlier, was a 5-foot tennis racket, which I'm so happy I put on video. It's here on the channel. If you go back and look up the tennis racket video, literally this thing is 5 feet tall. Found that in a Goodwill. I think it was $12.99, $13. All the numbers and breakdowns are inside the video, but anyways, picked the thing up for like $13. I thought it's got to be worth more than that to somebody. It was just a cool piece to pick up, but that took us like 30 minutes to box up. So that was probably the coolest / weirdest thing that I've sold. We haven't sold a lot of like weird or odd items. We've sold expensive items, but nothing that's like super weird. Martin. I would have left. I would have left earlier too. Martin left work earlier today. Basically, anyone who's just an Amazon focused seller, like we all had the day off. Like, let's face it. I sent the team home. I had enough to keep them busy with unboxing and sorting, pre-poly bagging, that kind of stuff. We were able to pre-do a bunch of stuff to hopefully get ready for tomorrow, as long as the system is up and running. But I sent them home just after lunch or just before lunch. I would have went home too. Honestly, I had scheduled this, and all this is here at the warehouse. Luckily, I only live like 5 minutes away, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, I would have went home and played Halo if I didn't schedule this. Jason Baker, what's up, brother? Got my ducks in a row and we'll be ready to load it ASAP. I just realized I pulled my Facebook tab away. Jeff Campbell, what's up, brother? Hope all is good. All is very, very good right now. Hope you are doing just as awesome. Okay. CJ said my sales stopped at 11 a.m. East Coast and now have been coming in slowly. Yeah, I haven't. At one point, I was trying to refresh my seller's app, and like the app just, it was literally like, it was like code. Like it was just a mix of letters and numbers. It was weird. So that was way earlier today. And at that point, I stopped checking the app. I let the team know, like, hey, just get these checklist items done, and then you guys are free to go for the day. But I did pay them for a full day. So I didn't send them home empty handed. Got to take care of your people. Oh, yes. Don't lie. Your real reason to move to Texas is Ollie's. Oh, Matthew, my friend, I miss your face. Uh, that is that okay. There's a percentage of that is very true. When we decided on Texas, that one of the first things I did was look up sourcing areas, and Ollie's was definitely on that list. You specifically, you guys know how much I love that Ollie's. I can't believe they're not in Oregon. It's so weird. How do you feel about Facebook advertising for your eBay page? I've never done it, so I one thing you guys, if you don't know already, you'll learn about myself. I will never sit up here and try to BS my way through something I haven't done myself. So I have zero experience with the Facebook advertising for your eBay page. Um, I, s- I'm not even going to go down the rabbit trail. I see too many content creators that try to talk about things they haven't personally done. I have a huge issue with that. I'm just going to leave it there. Just going to leave it there. I've been feisty for like the last month. Um, so hopefully I don't go off on any too many tangents. You guys ever have those moods where you're just, it's like the come at me bro mood. Like I've not been mad. That's the thing. I've just been feisty. Just got all this like pent up energy. I haven't had an outlet. That's what it is. I was talking to Trista about this. I'm like, I let the introvert side of me, which is a large part of me, I let the introvert side of me just be happy for the last like year, for the last 6 months. And I feel like the extrovert side of me has just been like building up because I haven't had any creative outlet. I haven't had anywhere I can open up my mouth and just share my voice, share my message, share my truth. I haven't I haven't had that outlet in literally over a year, to just let loose and say what I need to say. And if I piss some people off, that's okay. I'm not here. I love y'all, but I'm not here to say what people want to hear that makes them feel warm and fuzzy. I'm here to share my truth. And you guys, if you've been here a while, you know I go on my tangents sometimes. And it's not because I'm mad. It's not out of anger. It's I get so fed up, and it's not like I'm pointing fingers at anyone else. It's I go through my own phases of really pointing at myself. And when I've you guys can probably understand this to some degree. Let me know in the comments if you understand what I'm talking about here. When you overcome some type of insecurity, some type of lack of confidence, some type of inconsistency with yourself, when you overcome that and you get stronger from it, you can then spot it easier in others. And I get personally to the point of being fed up when I hear the same excuses over and over. And that's usually where my rants come from. It's seeing something in someone else that I once went through that I overcame, and now I see the light and I want them to see it too. And that's kind of the place that the quote unquote rants uh, come from. Anytime I do a video like that where I'm just like, I gotta open my mouth and like share my truth here for a second. And not just me, it's like any type of video that's raw and down to earth. I get messages on almost all of those videos. It's like, you were a little too harsh, or like, who pissed Chaz off? That's not how it is. It's coming from a place of like, I know what the light looks like in certain situations, and then when I see someone going through the struggle to get there that I just went through or have been through myself, it's easy to pinpoint like, hey, why don't you try this? Maybe you should try this. Maybe you should do this. If you stop doing that, you'll see this result. And that's where it comes from. Like, it comes off as frustration, which I guess in some cases it can be. Um Anyways, I went down that rabbit trail. Good evening from Lakeland, Florida. What is up? Why does Amazon require a tax ID number to sell? Because they have to know where and who to report the income from. You can't sell on, especially now that the official bill is being pushed through. If you sell over $600, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just like going based on just a rough reading of what I read literally yesterday. But the bill was, if you sell over $600 gross revenue on any of these platforms, or if you do it through a PayPal transaction, etc., you will get a 1099. And that 1099 is the company saying, we paid you this much, and that's also reported to the IRS. So that's why Amazon, eBay, any of these selling platforms, you will need your tax info for that reason. You can't just, you know, go sell on Amazon, collect your money, and then run and not pay taxes on that. They need to know who's getting reported there. And that's just like the rough ballpark of what I was reading about. I need to look into the specifics, because there's always that one person that's like, well, technically. All right. What have you guys all been up to? It's so funny that I cannot hop on here for a year, get on live, and I see the same faces hop on, because you guys are just awesome. So thank you for the people who show up even after I take a friggin' year off and you're still here. I cannot tell you how much the support means. The fact that anyone's willing to watch a video or listen to the audio, because I will be stripping out some of the audios out of these and making some podcast episodes for you guys too. Anyone who listens to the audio, um, anyone who watches videos, anyone who takes time out of your day in your busy life to watch any of our content, thank you. It amazes me sometimes people listen to my little ramblings, but truly appreciate it. Patrick, what's up, man? How are you guys doing down there? How is I thought we struggled here in our little tiny baby prep center with not being able to ship. Patrick, my man, how is your day? Because you guys are on a whole nother beast of a level. I can't even imagine. All right. I do apologize if I'm going back and forth. I'm trying to get Facebook to show me the real time comments, because it just says Facebook user. Okay, cool. Looks like it's updating now. Hey, slammed is awesome. At least you guys got plenty to do even without the actual shipping part. But then again, hold on, let me back up. Patrick runs a huge warehouse down in Texas, but they also do just way more than just Amazon. So even though Amazon was down, I can see why you guys would definitely be slammed. I'm pumped to get down there, get our little warehouse set up, and start offering some other services too, right? Because like we pretty much 99.9% Amazon is just what goes on under this roof here. And I have this business model in mind for eBay fulfillment. So that's something I do want to launch once we get down there, figure out the logistics of that. 20,000 cases forwarded the last 30 days. That is awesome. That is amazing, man. Congrats. I love seeing people win. I friggin' love it. I spent so long comparing myself to other people, like my entire life, really. I spent so long comparing myself to other people. And anytime you see someone else winning, you kind of like, all right, that's cool, bro. But, wish I was winning. Like, I spent so long doing that shit and I dropped that. Man, that was like the most freeing feeling when you can stop comparing yourself to others and just be so happy for other people. And then when you see someone post, like, Patrick just post, they shipped 20,000 cases, 20,000 the last 30 days. You can look at that as like, oh, wow, good for that guy. Or you can ask, I wonder how much work went into his business in order for him to get to the point where he can do that. Like when you start acknowledging people and giving them credit, just being pumped that people are winning, that's where it's at. My body says it's a loss. Man, I can only imagine how your body feels after doing that. Especially, I mean, it's funny, when we started getting into like the 3PL side, I thought case forwarding, which for those of you that don't know, case forwarding is, you know, uh, pallets or truckloads show up and typically the product is in case packs. That might be 6, 8, 20, whatever the product is. So instead of opening the package and individually prepping things, typically you're just going to put the shipping labels on the cases and forward them, right? So case forwarding. So a lot of times you don't really even have to open the package. And I remember getting into this and I'm like, wow, that must be so easy until you start doing case forwarding and realize it's physically exhausting to just be pumping that many boxes out, especially 20,000 cases. That's a beast. All right, crew. I'm going to hang out for like 10, 15 more minutes. Then I got to go hit the gym. Then I got to go put my feet up, spend some time with the family. And then at about 8:30 when the kids go down to bed, I'm going to go play some Halo. I've actually been starting to put my feet up and game a little bit again, which I haven't done that in like 6 to 8 months. Definitely excited. Please tell me we have like at least one other person here to play some games. At least one other person. I did download the new Halo and start on that. Twitch partner. I, for a second, thought about making a Twitch channel. It's like 90s kid. Like I grew up gaming. I was part of like the StarCraft, the World of Warcraft upbringing. And then, turned 16 and got a real job and like ran out of time to play games after that. But man, I don't know. I don't have time for it right now. I don't want it to be that much of a distraction for me. So I'm not saying it's not going to happen at some point, but Twitch has been on my mind. How was your day? The day was solid for me. The team was a little stressed because we all show up to work this morning. There's my two leads always show up at 8, and then the preppers show up at 9. So my two leads show up at 8. I showed up at 8:15, and Amazon was already down by then. So I show up, all right. I said Amazon's down. Usually in these cases, it's back up and running within an hour or two. Let's just get things ready for the preppers and go from there. Got as much ready as we could. The preppers show up, and I'm like, we got no labels. We can polybag a bunch of stuff. Fortunately, we had a lot of blankets. We had a lot of beauty products that needed polybagged. So the team was able to keep their hands busy for a little bit up until lunchtime. And then after that, I just sent them home for the day. And I did let them know. I just gave them full day's pay just to be able to support them a little bit more. So yeah, it was definitely, it could have gone better if we were able to ship. My side of the day was great. I was able to kind of hop back and forth and support them with a couple things that they needed. And then throughout the in-between time, I'd come over here, do eBay photos. I'm doing 20 eBay listings a day. So, it keeps me busy for a little bit. And then I thought, you know what? I can go home early today, or I can start putting some focus back on content and hanging out with you guys again. So I scheduled this. I also did a video on how to ship hats. I'm doing a lot of videos right now. I just have to start editing and pumping those out for you guys again. So I'm doing a lot of how-to and tutorial style videos for you guys. So that's kind of where we're at. Hey, Dojo, what's up, man? Need to start Halo. I've been playing Call of Duty. Halo's been pretty good. It's been pretty solid. I honestly stopped playing after 2. Um, we did the typical LAN parties and all that. So Halo and Halo 2. Once Halo 3 came out, I, kind of stopped playing as many games back then. So just playing Infinity now is just like pure nostalgic playing. And I've been a fan. Of course, it's still beta, so there's glitches going on. Um, the HUD and all that kind of stuff just been going in and out, but it's been a lot of fun, so I've been enjoying it. Jason, you should definitely get on Halo, man. I'm playing Xbox, by the way. But yeah, if anyone wants to get on some Xbox, definitely get me added on there. If you ignored my question, I was going to FaceTime and check your mental health. That's hilarious. Hold on. Sorry, man. It says Facebook user on the stream, so I have to like check the actual Facebook page to see the questions. If you ignored my question, I was going to FaceTime you. Which question did I miss one, or did I already answer it? Oh, how my day went, probably. Okay. All right, didn't miss that one. That's hilarious. Hey, Friday, let's game. Let's do it. Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, I'm clear Friday. I'm like, which night do we do things with the kids? And all right, we should be clear Friday night. Usually we put the kids down at 8:30 p.m. Pacific time and wide open after that. I have been getting up at 5 for the last several weeks. So if I stay up past like 10:30, like I need at least my 7 hours. Jose, what's up, man? Congrats, Charles. Your stream is looking good. I like it. I've been with you from the beginning, 2016. What camera are you using? And are you streaming through StreamYard? Yes, I am streaming through StreamYard. I'm actually shocked because I am not hardwired in right now. So I was expecting the quality to be a little bit less than what it is. So it's actually surprisingly really good. As far as camera, I'm using a Canon M50 with a 22 millimeter lens. Is the setup that I got going on. I'm not hardwired in because this whole setup is all temporary. So we technically have 2 warehouses. They're right next to each other. Our main building is where my old office was. So back when I was doing a lot more live streaming, the streams were crystal clear because I was able to hardwire in. But this second building was for one specific client that went super high volume. For a while, he's tapered back down, and then this was also our storage building. Because we're moving to Texas, we don't need this building. So at the end of January, this lease is up. So we moved all of the office out into this building as a temporary setup because we moved our break room away from the warehouse floor because we needed to be able to migrate that space. So the break room is now an actual break room instead of just being on the floor in a corner. It's inside where my old office was. So once we get down to Texas, I'll get legit build out and all that kind of stuff, get hardwired in. So the stream should be a little bit more clear. But I was expecting it to be a little more choppy than it is. When are we back in Texas? We're flying down. We haven't booked tickets yet, but sometime around second, maybe third week of January. That's when we'll actually go in some warehouses, do a few tours. We narrowed down the towns that we really liked, and so we'll go look at some warehouse space. Nothing crazy. We'll start, 2, 3, 4,000 square feet, just depending on price points down there. So we'll get a lease signed, and then from there, like we're good to go. And then we just come back up here for a few weeks, figure out the logistics of moving, and then we are We were down in Texas after that. I'm pumped. How is Trista? Trista's doing awesome. She's been hammering away on Poshmark and eBay. Pretty much both of us. Like this office space that I'm in right now, like it extends pretty far down. So her side of the office is over there. It's like two completely different setups. But yeah, she's gonna be hitting Poshmark pretty hard in eBay for mainly the clothing. So my death pile was always hard good stuff. Hers was clothing. So we're kind of just flooding the store with both of those, and it's been awesome. You know, to be able to wake up and see a consistent like 10 to 15 sales a day on eBay, like I don't think we saw that ever. Now that I'm looking back, like we had spikes, you know, after big sales or if we did markdown sales. I'm doing markdown sales every single weekend right now. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Highly recommend trying that. Just like 10, 11, 12, 13. If you want to go heavy, go like 15%. But we've been doing markdown sales and waking up to like 35 to 45 packages to be shipped out on Mondays. So that's been super nice. Speaking of which, did you guys hear that? What do we sell this time? Sweet. Sold a $30 Funko. That's awesome. But I mean, it's been so long since I've heard cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching from eBay on my phone all day long. It's been great, but it does. I used to say, wow, this is so great. It surprises me it's doing this well, but it doesn't surprise me because I've been consistent, I've been putting in the work. Uh, you know, a lot of people like myself, I still struggle with this where I work when I'm motivated. I do my best work when I'm motivated, like anyone. Why would you want to work when you don't feel like it? So I've always struggled with trying to do a lot in really short bursts because I'm excited, and then kind of tailoring back and not doing much. Sometimes it's a few weeks, sometimes it's a few months. Like eBay, for example, like I went through these phases where huge increase in productivity and listings and then shipping. And then I would kind of not do a whole lot with it for like 2 months. And then the sales would go down. And I'd be like, wow, why are my sales so slow? It's like, well, haven't done much for the last couple months. It's just a non negotiable for me right now. Bare minimum. Like if I've just got a lot of stuff going on and I have to squeeze eBay in 5 listings a day, bare minimum. I've been hitting 15 to 20 really consistently Monday through Friday for several weeks now. So that's been pretty awesome. I'll text you and Cheyenne and I will fly down to take you to dinner. Oh man, I would love to be able to hang out with you guys. Definitely would love to hang out with you. I got to make a trip down there and see your freaking mansion of a warehouse now. Pumped. Yeah, so, you know, that's been the biggest thing in my mind lately is making a to-do list that you stay consistent with every single day. If you do things only when you feel like it, you're not going to have consistent results. It's just not going to happen. The times that I have sat down and done 3 to 5 eBay listings Monday through Friday, take weekends off, those are the times that I see consistent sales. When I do a consistent 10, 15, 20 listings a day, typically I'm seeing more sales. And the thing with eBay and Amazon, really just selling products in general, just because you are listing doesn't mean it's going to sell. Just because you've bought something so cheap doesn't mean it's going to sell. You have to buy products that are showing an active history of sales going on. If you check sold comps and you see 50 active listings and like 2 solds, I'm not touching it unless it's some rare item that I'm going to make a huge ROI on. Sure, I'll pick it up. Look at sealed video games, for example. I know I've got some blur going on in the lens, so you guys can't see them, but you know, sealed retro video games, huge hobby of mine I've gotten into over the last couple of years. Those are items that if you look up sold comps, you won't see many sold comps because they're not a consistent selling item. They're a rare type of item, unique. Um, But that is an example of you just need to know the market, right? So some of those games, like the best flip we've ever done was a sealed video game. I got it with the grading fee because you have to pay these companies. This I use WADA. Back then, this one was actually VGA. All in $550 for a sealed copy of 1999 Game Boy Pikachu Yellow Edition. I ended up selling that at the peak of the market. I don't remember if this was, I have it on video. I just haven't put the video together. But at the peak of the market, I sold that game for $16,000. That wasn't because I had a history of sold comps to go by. That was just understanding the market and really paying attention to it and being involved with it every single day. And knowing when to buy things, knowing when to sell. And it's hard to time when the peak of a trend is going to peak, right? Just like trading stocks, it's you can't determine the peak. What you can do is hope that you get as close as you can. But that's an example of you're not going to have much sold comp history on rare, unique items like that. But for your everyday type of items that are going to be selling, just because you got it cheap, just because you listed it, doesn't mean it's going to sell. You've got to look at your data that you're able to access. Fortunately for eBay, we can look at sold history, and that is the number one tool that you can use as an eBay seller. For Amazon, we have way more data to go by. We have Keepa charts, we have sales ranks, we have so many ways that we can utilize that data. So in the Amazon space, just because something is on clearance really cheap at Walmart and it has an Amazon listing doesn't mean it's going to sell. And if it doesn't mean it's going to sell for a profit, right? You've got to look at all the data you can and make those decisions. Jonathan Swart, what is up, man? It's just going to say Facebook user when I highlight you up here. Jonathan Swart, shout out to our drug dealer when it comes to poly bags. I love supplies.com. Not a sponsored post. You can send me my check next week. No, all seriousness though. I mean, we buy thousands of these poly bags every single week. Definitely the best in the game. He's so modest. Patrick, it's only 120,000 square feet. It's not massive. Got to keep grinding. Right. I love I love BSing with people is what it comes down to. And when all of us are throwing around different numbers, like Patrick says 120,000 square feet isn't massive. And in my world, that is massive, right? Because it's all relative. It's like if you go into the gym and someone throws up 400 pounds on a bench press, most people are like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But to that person, they might be like, well, I should be able to get to 500, right? I just love the perspective side of talking with people. Yeah, everything's relative, right? And this kind of ties back into what I was talking about earlier, and I'll finish up this thought and then going to hit the road, go get my gym time in so I can get home to the kiddos. When you're looking at the relativity of all these different numbers in the Amazon, the eBay, the reselling space, right? You can't compare yourself because you see people posting these massive numbers right now. We're in the middle of Q4 and I see people posting like, hey, we just did $300,000 in the last 30 days. We just did $1 million the last 30 days. These are real numbers that people are putting up. And to most of us, we'd be like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's a huge number. But to them, one, we don't know their backstory. Truly, we don't know the hidden hours that they put in to get that. And two, once you get extra zeros on whatever you're currently doing, there's always that next level to get to. Like, in our business, like the first time that we started selling and getting into the Amazon world and eBay, I remember thinking like, man, I can't wait to do $10,000 a month. Like that's a huge number. Because when you're brand new, that is a massive number, right? It's a huge milestone, 10K in a month. And then you do 10K and you're like, wow, okay, wonder if I could do 20. That seems like a huge jump. And then you do 20. And then once you get into like 30, 40, 50, 60 and beyond, I mentally didn't feel that different doing 30K a month versus like 60 or 70K a month. Like I really didn't across all of our businesses. Because we just, we have two different businesses. We have Network Prep, the prep center, Side Hustle Network, which is all the rest, the reselling, YouTube affiliate marketing, all that stuff. But you could put up these numbers and always want more. There's always the next phase. It's just reverse. It all ties back to reverse engineering what you want and what you need to get there. And then once you reach that level, reassess. Do I want to hang out here, hit cruise control? Because I hit my goal. I want to hit cruise control, enjoy this phase that I'm in. And then when the time is right or when I feel the need to push, then I can hit that next growth phase. And that's kind of where Tristan and I are at right now. We're 100% in a cruise control phase, and I'm enjoying every freaking minute of it. We were in a massive growth phase all year from January up until last month. And then after last month, I'm like, man, I'm going to hit cruise control. I want to switch gears and focus back on eBay and Amazon and really just hammer on that because I miss it. I miss doing YouTube videos. I miss hanging out. I'm, like the dumb stuff, like hanging out on Instagram. Like I miss being involved with the community. And because we're in a cruise control phase of the prep center, like I don't need to be on the prep tables trying to do 5,000 units today. Like I don't have a desire for that right now. I might in 6 months, I might want to go back in another growth phase. And that's been a big learning experience for myself and Trista. We'll do some more shows, of course, where she can come on and share her piece. But we've talked about this all the time where we're focusing on the phase that we're in. I think a lot of people in the Amazon, eBay space, you guys hear this? Like, I can't make that up. You list shit, good stuff, and it's probably going to sell. This was a beaten up open box. Let's see if I can open this. This was an open box, beaten up Nerf. I picked up for like, that's just going to be super white. See if we can focus. Oh, anyways, it's new in the box. The box is beat up, so it's listed as open box. Got it for 12 or 13 bucks at Ross last year. It went to Amazon. It was a customer return. They opened it, beat up the box. It was still new. It just sold for 60 bucks. And that sat in my death pile for like 6 months, 8 months. You got to list your stuff. Anyways, my point was when you start your business, when you start growing your business, you get to the intermediate level, whatever phase that you're in right now, it's so easy in the Amazon reselling space to see these people who almost like, and this is just based on personal interactions I've had with people over the years. People expect you to always be pushing for growth. Like no matter what's going on in your life, you should just always be pushing for growth. I am 100% about pushing yourself, right? I'm all about that. But I've learned to acknowledge that the rest phases are just as important for me, right? This is not going to be for everyone. This is not the same mentality some other people might have, and that's okay. We're allowed to have these different methodologies going on. But I've learned that the times of rest and hitting cruise control have become such an important aspect in our lives because we've learned to just chill and enjoy the results of what we've done so far and kind of just rest and get ourselves mentally ready for that next phase, that next push. As long as you're not on a decline, which that's a different episode, different conversation. The decline shouldn't be happening. And if it is, acknowledging why, right? Might be a time issue, capital, whatever the case is. But I am now a believer, at least with our business, that we should always be in a growth phase. I don't know if that lasts for a couple months, whatever the case is, but it should always be followed with a time of rest or cruise control, if you will. And that might last just a few weeks. You might go on an 8 week, a 2 month huge push, especially right now in Q4. Q4 is a great example. People push so hard for growth November, December, and then they chill for January because you just busted your butt. You want that time off. And then they feel bad that they took the time off. And I used to feel bad about doing that too. But now that I've mentally gotten my stuff in check and I feel awesome again, I'm reflecting back at all the wasted time of just stressing over all of it. It wasn't worth it for me. So acknowledge where you are in your business now. And this might be a little exercise some of you can take away. Acknowledge where you are now and ask yourself, am I in a phase of my business where I'm on a decline, I'm on cruise control, or I'm on growth? Like, which mode are you on? Like, if you're in between, pick one. If you're in growth, especially right now in Q4, I get it, right? You're going to be tired on some degree, depending what you're doing. But if you're in grind mode right now, if you're full on growth push mode, and you are just at your limit, you're exhausted and you're questioning why you're doing it, like, you can hit pause for a couple days or a couple weeks or the rest of the month and not beat yourself up about it. Go back into cruise control mode, take that time of rest, and then when you're mentally ready to handle that next burst, then go back into push. And that's kind of just how mentally we've been tackling our business for the last couple months. And that's why I'm able to come back to YouTube and be 100% level headed. Like, if I tried to hop on YouTube live a few months ago or throughout really the end of any part of this year, I was all over the place. I was stressed. We went through a lot of phases of growth where it's like we didn't see our kids nearly as much as we should have. We should have taken them out all summer long and done all the fun things. And we've done a lot over the last 2 months that we've been using this new methodology of, like, cruise control versus growth. Like, we went to San Antonio for 2 weeks. We took the kids with us, had so much fun with them down there. We really, aside from driving around looking for warehouse space in neighborhoods, it was all focused on the kids at that point. So we went there for 2 weeks, came home. We were home for less than 2 weeks. We went to Disneyland for 5 days. Got back from Disneyland. We just got back from the beach here locally. Went with some friends and their kids, and, like, just had an awesome time for 3 days. So, like, we've taken so much time over these last 2 months to just be whole again and have such great work-life balance, which is not how we did it the rest of the year. And now that I can sit here and reflect on myself over the last 12 months that we've been in this year, I no zeros are worth the stress that we went under. I will happily get rid of zeros off of our revenue and our paychecks and all that if we can just have what we have right now, which is work life, like what I consider work life balance. And it feels good. It really does. All right, that is my tangent. I guess it's not really a tangent. That's just my thoughts of the night. Jeff said, it's going to say Facebook user, but this is Jeff. I was like that until I got sick badly in March. Grow. But it wore me out so badly. Since March, I've been dealing with a bunch of health issues. My sales have been declining all year since, unfortunately, because of it. I'm trying to figure out how much to push and how much to sit back. It's tough. It's definitely tough. Jeff, especially, I followed your journey. I know a little bit about what you went through. Yeah, and it's not easy at all. It's easy to sit up here and, like, talk about it now, but reflecting back when I was in it, not easy at all to really find that path. So hopefully, just by me kind of brain dumping here, that can help steer some of you to a little bit more clarity on, wow, he's right. Maybe I am trying to push so hard right now, and I actually do physically and mentally need to pull back for a minute and just enjoy the phase that I'm in, right? You can always hit cruise control in your business. And that's 100% of the time always going to be worth it to hit cruise control if that means that you get a little bit more of your mental health back. always. I hope to talk a lot more about like the whole mental health aspect of this because just one, being an entrepreneur slash business owner in general, doesn't matter what business, that's going to come with its own health issues and mental health issues, at least by itself. And then there's reselling specific stuff that you'll go through. And we all know that none of it is talked about publicly enough. And now that I'm kind of back in YouTube and back in content and wanting to help you guys out a lot more, this is as much help for me mentally as it is maybe for some of you that listen. Everyone's always like, "Oh my gosh, Chaz, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for getting on YouTube. Thank you for all the videos that you've done." It's like, no, this was selfishly for me. I need an outlet for my voice because that's how I prevent my mental health from declining. So I'm able to get up here and talk things through and share some of the experiences I've gone through or going through. Um, and it means so much if I get a message from somebody that connects with that. And even better, like they utilize something that I said to better themselves or their business. Like that's a win for me. So this is equally as beneficial for me as it is for some of you that might be listening as well. But aside from that, you guys are amazing. Feels super good to be back. And I'll be doing a live show. I want to get back on a weekly schedule. I just need to pick and choose which day, depending on the kiddo schedule. And we'll go from there. So I'll keep you all posted. If you're not plugged in, the most active that I am is on Instagram still. It's kind of home base. So that's the Side Hustle Network. And didn't think I would ever do it because I thought it was just for 12-year-olds. But I did make a TikTok account, Side Hustle Network, because it turns out it's a pretty useful app for learning a lot of cool stuff. So I was proven wrong about the TikTok scenario. So I am starting to post some content over there, just little highlight reels and like, here's how you ship this, here's how you do that. So if you want some reels that you can watch, over TikTok is the place to be. Instagram is more of like the stories mode, the daily updates, all that kind of fun stuff. But aside from that, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Seriously appreciate it. It's been Chad, Side Hustle Network. Peace out, crew. See you next time.